Let us now take a few examples from model 1 of this topic, which is based on simple analogy or general analogy. The first example that we have here is garage is to car. So hangar is to what? Now here a pair of words is given to us. We need to complete the second pair in such a way that the second pair is analogous to the first pair. As I have mentioned earlier, the given pair of words always has some logical relationship between them. So we need to identify the relationship that exists between these two words so that we can complete the second pair accordingly. And the best way to identify the relationship in these two words is to make a sentence with the help of these two words. Now, what do you understand by garage and car? We very well know that garage is a parking area for car, or car is parked in garage. It is a temporary parking area for car, which is meant for car. So we can say garage is parking area for a car. Garage is parking area for a car. So that is a sentence which gives us a clear idea or the relationship between the two words in the first pair. Garage is a parking area for car. Now we have to use a similar sentence and complete the second pair. Now if garage is a parking area for car, then hangar is a parking area for what? Now we know that hangar is a parking place for aeroplanes. Aeroplanes are parked in hangar, which is an area in the airport. So hangar is a parking area for aeroplane. Now from the given options, third option says aeroplane. So we can say option 3 is the answer. So if we try to look at the two sentences now, we find that these two are analogous to each other. Garage is a parking area for car in the same way as hangar is a parking area for aeroplane. Or we can say cars are parked in garage. Aeroplanes are parked in hangar. So that's how we can solve questions from analogy by making a sentence from the given pair of words. But here one important point that we need to observe is the vocabulary of a student helps him a lot in answering these kind of questions. For instance, those who all are not aware of what is hangar, they may not be able to answer this question. So clearly we can observe that the questions from analogies can be answered if you know the meaning of the given words. So it's important that we build our vocabulary so that we can answer these questions easily. Let's now move on to the next example. The next question here says clock is related to time in the same way as thermometer is related to what? Now question number 2 is similar to question number 1, but the way the question has been asked here is slightly different. Earlier the pair of words were given and we need to complete the second pair. Here again a pair of words is given in terms of a sentence and we have to complete the second pair such that the two pairs are analogous to each other. Now what does it say here? Clock is related to time. So the words clock and time are related to each other. So in a similar way, thermometer should be related to what? That's the question. Now if you observe here, the first pair is clock and time. And to find out the second word of the second pair or to complete the second pair, we need to know the meaning or the relationship in between the given words. So let's make a sentence with the help of the first pair, clock and time. Now what is the sentence that can be built using these two words? We can say that clock shows time. Here clock is a device which is used to measure time, right? So clock measures time or clock shows time. Now with the help of a similar sentence we need to complete the second pair. If clock shows time, thermometer shows what? If clock is related to time, thermometer is related to what? If you observe, clock is a device here. Likewise, thermometer is also a device which is used to measure temperature. We very well know that thermometer is used to measure body temperature or room temperature, etc. So we can say thermometer is used to measure temperature. So the answer for the second question here has to be temperature, which is option 4. So clock measures time in the same way as thermometer measures temperature. If you look at the remaining options, the first option, radiation, anyway is not the right answer. Look at the second option, degrees. Thermometer is related to degrees. Yes, in some way thermometer is related to degrees. How? Thermometer measures the temperature in degrees. Now don't get confused in whether we should go for second option degrees or fourth option temperature. The point that we need to understand here is clock measures time in the units of hours. Time is measured in hours. Likewise, temperature is measured in degrees. So here the quantity that is measured is time. It is measured in the units of hours. Likewise, the quantity that is measured by thermometer is temperature, and this temperature is measured in the units of degrees. So answer has to be temperature, because the first word here is device and the second word is the quantity measured by that device. Likewise here, temperature is the parameter or the quantity that is measured by thermometer. For example, if the question says clock is related to hours, then our answer would have been second option, degrees. Why? Here clock measures time, but the units is hours. Likewise, thermometer measures temperature, but there the units have to be degrees. So we have to be careful while answering these questions. Though they are easy, sometimes we get trapped in two options, whether we have to go for second option or the fourth option, as in this case. So if the question is saying clock is to time, then thermometer is to temperature. And if it says clock is to hours, then thermometer should be related to degrees. So we need to understand or make the sentence properly so that answering the question becomes easy. Let's now move on to the next example here. Now the third question says acrophobia is to heights. Acrophobia is related to heights. And nothing from the second pair is given to us. Here if you look at the answer options, we have got again pairs of words. So here we need to find out the second pair from the answer options, which is analogous to the first pair. So instead of completing the second pair, we are required to find out the second pair, which is similar to the given pair. Now what is acrophobia? Those who all are aware, acrophobia is the phobia of heights. It is fear of heights. So we can say that acrophobia is the fear of heights. Now from the answer options, we need to find out the pair which is similar to the given pair. If you look at the first option, ornithophobia is to fire. Now we need to know what is ornithophobia. Ornithophobia is the fear of birds. But here the second word is fire. Ornithophobia is not the fear of fire. So we can eliminate the first option. We can simply kill the first option, right? We can go by the process of elimination to answer such questions. Let's now look at the second answer option here. Claustrophobia is to strangers. What is claustrophobia? Claustrophobia is the fear of closed spaces, enclosed spaces, small spaces, right? Such a fear is called claustrophobia. And here it says claustrophobia is related to strangers. Claustrophobia is nowhere related to strangers. So even the second option can be eliminated. Look at the third option now. Hydrophobia is to water. Yes, hydrophobia is the fear of waters. If you are aware, the word hydro here, the root hydro is related to water. So hydrophobia is the fear of water. And this is similar to the given pair, that is acrophobia is related to heights. It is the fear of heights. Likewise, hydrophobia is the fear of water. So we can say third option is the correct answer. Anyway, if you go for the fourth option, the fourth option here is pyrophobia. Pyrophobia is to cats. What is pyrophobia? Pyrophobia is the phobia of fire, right? This is the fear of fire. But the given word here is cats. So fourth option anyway is wrong. So this way, by eliminating the wrong answer options, we can find out the correct one. So acrophobia is the fear of heights. In a similar way, hydrophobia is the fear of water. Now again, if you observe in example number 3, those who all are not aware of these kind of phobias, they may not be able to answer this question. So it is important that we understand the terminology very well. For example, here we need to know what phobia is for what, or what is the phobia of a particular thing. Likewise, questions sometimes are based on the younger ones of animals, right? Or questions are based on the different genders of animals. Questions are based on collective nouns. So knowing these things will help us answer these questions better. Let us now take a few more examples from model 1. The next example, that is example 4 here, is write is to scribble, in the same way as what is to stammer. So if write is related to scribble, then in a similar way, what is related to stammer? Now we know that there is a logical relationship between these two words. We have to identify that relationship with the help of a sentence, and the same sentence has to be applied in the second pair to find out the answer. But here the one thing that we need to be careful about is that we have to find out the first word of the second pair, unlike the previous cases where we were finding out the second word of the second pair. Which means while framing the sentence, we have to be careful about taking the words in the proper places. We are in the need of the first word of the second pair, but not the second word of the second pair, right? So we have to use the sentence accordingly. Now let's understand what is the relationship between write and scribble. Write is a very general word, but what is meant by scribble? Scribble is also a form of writing. Scribble is, strictly speaking, an improper form of writing. So we can say that scribble is an improper form of writing. Write here is an action. An improper way of doing that action or performing that action here is scribble. So write is the proper form, or write is the action for which the improper form is scribble. So what kind of sentence can we make here? We can say scribble is an improper way of writing. It's an improper form of writing. So stammer is an improper form of what? Remember here, write and scribble. What is to stammer? Scribble is an improper way of writing. So stammer is an improper way of what? This is what I meant when I said you have to take the words in the proper places in the given sentence, right? So if scribble is to writing, we are just taking it the other way now. If scribble is an improper form of writing, then stammer is an improper form of what? Now one point which we need to understand here is the first word here is an action. Likewise, the first word in the second pair also denotes an action. And for that action, the improper form is stammer. Stammer is an improper form of what? Stammering. What is stammering? Stammering is an improper way of speaking. People who get struck while they speak, right? That action is called as stammering, right? So an improper way of speaking is stammering. And from the options, we can say that answer is fourth option, speak. So scribble is an improper form of writing in the same way as stammer is an improper form of speaking, right? So that's how you solve questions from analogy. Just try to make a proper sentence with placing the words at the proper places to complete the second pair or to find out the second pair. Let's now move on to the next one. The next question here says, if horse is to foal, tiger is to what? So horse is related to foal. In a similar way, tiger is related to what? Now, horse and tiger both are animals, that's very clear. But what is foal? What is foal? Foal is a baby horse, or we can say foal is a younger one of a horse, right? So horse younger one is foal, tiger's younger one is what, right? Or foal is the younger one of a horse, then what is the younger one of a tiger? Just try to take the sentence in a proper way. So if foal is the younger one of a horse, then what is the younger one of a tiger? What are the younger ones of tigers called? Let's look at the options. If you don't get the answer directly, try to go by the options. Kitten. Is kitten the younger one of a tiger? No. Kittens are the younger ones of cats, right? So first option is ruled out. Second option, calf. Calf is younger one of what? Calf is the younger one of elephant, right? Or camel's younger one is also called a calf. But younger one of a tiger is not a calf. So even we can get rid of the second option, calf. Look at the third option, cub. Yes, cub is the younger one of a tiger, or the younger ones of tiger are called cubs. Yes, so third option is the right answer. Foal is the younger one of a horse. Similarly, cub is the younger one of a tiger. And fourth option anyway is going to be wrong. What is fourth option? Duckling here. Duckling is what? Duckling is the younger one of a duck, right? So fourth option also gets ruled out. So that's how you can sometimes eliminate the options to get the right answer. But again, we need to understand the given words properly. Those who all are not aware of what is foal, they may not be able to answer this question since they are not able to establish the relationship in the first pair. So it is important for us that we understand this kind of terminology, right? Like I've mentioned earlier, try to go through the list of different phobias, different manias, and younger ones of animals, or the female animals, and collective nouns, etc. Because these kind of questions are generally asked when it comes to analogy. Let us now look at the next example, that is example 6. Example 6 says west is related to northeast. And we have to find out the second pair such that these two pairs are analogous to each other. Now, what is the relationship between these two directions here? West is a direction, northeast is also a direction, right? But how are these two directions related? Now, let's try to put these directions on paper here. Let's try to understand the four basic directions and their intercardinal directions. This was also discussed in detail in the topic of directions from reasoning. So let me quickly try to put the directions here and understand that what is the relationship between these two directions here. Now we know that on paper this is north, south, here we have east and west. So these are the four cardinal directions, and then there is something called as intercardinal directions which lies between these cardinal directions. So any direction which lies between north and east is northeast. Likewise, the direction between North and west is northwest. Any direction that falls between west and south is referred as southwest, and between south and east is referred as southeast, right? So these are the intercardinal directions. For detailed understanding, you can just refer to the topic of directions, which is a part of reasoning. Now look at these two directions here, west and northeast. Here is west, and what is northeast? Something which is between north and east here, right? So if you observe west and northeast, we are actually moving 90 degrees up to north. This is 90 degrees, and then somewhere between north and east. So west and northeast. So you can see that the direction northeast is at an angular distance of more than 90 degrees. Yes or no? The angular distance between west and northeast is how much? West to north is 90 degrees, and then anything between north and east is northeast. So more than 90 degrees. We can say that the angular distance between west and northeast is going to be more than 90, and it can be up to 180, right? So anything between 90 to 180. And the other point that we need to understand here is we are actually moving in the clockwise direction, right? We are moving in the clockwise direction here. So the angular distance between these two directions here is greater than 90 degrees, and it is lesser than 180 degrees. So we can say it falls between 90 and 180 degrees in the clockwise direction, right? So let's check the angular distance between the other cases as well. The first option here is east and northwest. Where is east? East is this, and northwest, right? East and northwest. Again, from east, if we try to move towards northwest, it is 90 degrees up to north and northwest. So northwest is between north and west, so it will be again more than 90 degrees. So can we say first option is the right answer? No, first option is not going to be the correct answer here, because if you observe in the given pair west and northeast, the angular distance is between 90 and 180 in the clockwise direction, whereas in the first answer option we are moving in the anti-clockwise direction, right? So though the angular distance is satisfied, the direction here is not satisfied. We are going in an opposite direction, anti-clockwise direction. So let's verify the other options as well. In any of the other options, if the angular distance is between 90 and 180 and in the clockwise direction, that can be taken as the answer. Otherwise, if this question is not with respect to clockwise or anti-clockwise, it is only based on the angular distance, then we can go for first option. So as of now, let's keep option number 1 on hold. This may be the right answer. We can confirm it only after verifying the other options. Let us now look at the second option, that is north and southwest. Now north and southwest, if you observe, when we go in the clockwise direction, north to southwest, we find that we have to cross 180 degrees, because north to east is 90, east to south is 90. 90 and 90, 180, and then more than 180 will lead us to southwest, which is in the clockwise direction. So when we move in the clockwise direction, north to southwest, it is going to be more than 180, which is against the given range. But when we move in the anti-clockwise direction, what do we see? North to southwest, this is 90 and then more than 90. So in the anti-clockwise direction again, between north and southwest, we have the angular distance of more than 90 and less than 180. So we find that the second option here again satisfies in terms of the angular distance, but not in terms of the direction, that is clockwise or anti-clockwise, right? So even second option seems to be wrong. Let us verify the third and the fourth one now. Look at third option, south to northwest. Now south and northwest. If we go in the clockwise direction, from south to west it is 90 degrees, and then we are trying to go in northwest direction there, which is more than 90. That means south to west is 90, and again northwest will be somewhere between this quadrant, somewhere in middle of this quadrant. So 90 plus an angular distance between this quadrant. So it will be somewhere between 90 to 180, which means in option 3, south to northwest, we find that the angular distance is again in the range of 90 to 180, as well as it is in the clockwise direction. So it clearly satisfies both the conditions which is in between the given question pair. West to northeast is angular distance of 90 to 180 and in the clockwise direction. In the first and second options, we find that the angular distance is again in the range of 90 to 180 but in anti-clockwise direction. Whereas in third option, the angular distance is between 90 to 180, which is as per the given question, as well as it is in the clockwise direction. So it satisfies both the direction as well as angular distance. So we can say option 3 here has to be the answer, and there is no need to verify fourth option since we have already found the right answer there. So some questions from analogies like this one here may be based on some logical relationship. Like here it is about the distance between the two directions, right? So we have to establish that properly and then find out which of the answer options satisfies those conditions. So this is how we get the answers for the model 1 of analogy. We just need to make a sentence with the help of the given pair and understand the logical relationship between the two words. And by using a similar sentence for the second pair, we can find out which of the answer options is analogous to the first pair. And also we can complete the second pair.